old-fashioned doorbell out by the roots. That's your best makeup, is it, Remsen? As good as any. Fortified by my accent, it is most convincing. That'll be Carteret. Who? Rodney Carteret. Am I supposed to know him? Rather. Not know a man with whom you toured for 2 months in Japan? Said Remsen reproachfully. Stupid of me, confessed Harmon, grinning. Carteret, good old Roddy, certainly. Then I'd better capture him, and take him to the 9 o'clock train for Boulder Brook in my taxi. Righto, old thing. Be here at 8:30. Cheerio, said his host, Britishly. Promptly at that hour, on the second morning thereafter, a taxicab swerved violently into the curbstone, almost at the feet of the patient and vigilant Murphy, and stopped with an alarming scrunch of brakes. From its window emerged a heavy puff of smoke. From its door emerged Mr. Thomas Harmon, who rolled upon the pavement, apparently strangling. Mr. Murphy rushed to his aid. When he was restored to his feet and his breath, and the taxi had ceased to imitate Fairfield the Dragon, a tall figure in an extremely English ulster, which had hastily emerged from the Remsen front door, rushed down 10 steps and leisurely climbed them again, was wrenching violently at the bell. For a time, Mr. Murphy regarded him disdainfully, then crossed over, held brief colloquy, and returned. What chance he's got of breaking in, he observed to Mr. Harmon. What is he making all the fuss about? Inquired that gentleman as the visitor again applied himself forcefully to the bell. Wants to see Mr. Remsen, but the old bulldog of a butler won't let him put his nose inside the door. Says his name is Cartier, and he's come all the way from England to see him. England? Not Roddy Carteret. It was done almost as well as that accomplished actor, Mr. Jacob Remsen, could have done it. Harmon sprang across the street. Cartier! Roddy Cartier! He called. What on earth are you doing over here? The bell ringer adjusted a monocle and ambled down the steps to shake hands. Well met, my dear fella. Perhaps you can tell me what's amiss with this beastly house. I'll tell you, proffered the obliging and innocent Mr. Murphy. He did so. Then I'll just go back and jolly well camp there till somebody jolly well lets me in, decided the caller. Argument followed while the chauffeur burrowed into the mechanism of his car. It ended by the Englishman bestowing $2 upon Mr. Murphy to get a message to Mr. Remsen containing a protest and an address. The two gentlemen then moved away in the extinguished taxi. Tickets had been provided by the forethoughtful Harmon. The fugitive was the first man in the parlor car. Hardly had he settled when a young couple in suspiciously new apparel arrived and were shown into drawing room A at the upper end of the car. Shortly after, another couple, also glistening as to garb, entered and took possession of drawing room B at the lower end of the car. The eluder of justice eyed them and drew his own conclusions. Here we are, all of us, he said to himself, retiring discreetly behind his newspaper. This was just one short of the full and fateful facts. End of Chapter 10.